Okay, so in the first turnout drill video, I really believe that that's for officers, and the fact that when you get off the pumper you have your mask off and you put your mask on just before you go in. That gives the officers a clear field of view to make good tactical decisions about where we're going to make entry and what we're going to do. I really strongly believe that firefighters should have their mask on whenever they get off the pumper, because we may need them to do some task level jobs immediately after getting off the pumper. So I wanted to make a separate video showing firefighters getting off the pumper with their mask on, and the other video can be used for the officers. So David Carrier's been working on it for about the last hour or so, and he's come up with a good way to get geared up with his mask on inside the pumper, using some of the same steps that I did in the other video. And one thing I want to show you real quick before we get started is up here with the shoulder straps and the seatbelt. Now I showed you how to put that left shoulder strap on, and then you release your air pack first, then put that left shoulder strap on, and then get your seatbelt on so that your seatbelt's on and fastened and we're ready to respond. Now a lot of people like to carry their right shoulder strap, well both shoulder straps really, up here above the seat. If you do that and try to put your seatbelt on, it's going to cause an entanglement hazard. So if you're going to use this technique, you do have to leave that shoulder strap hanging in front of the air pack. Put your seatbelt on, then you can put that shoulder strap on and it won't get hung up. Okay, it's a real critical step. And Dave's going to show you that here in a second. So, you ready, Dave?
Yes, sir.
All right, he's going to show us his technique. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Your mark, get set, go. Again, it's important to get totally encapsulated before you get inside, so you can get your seatbelt on, and you don't have to worry about getting all your Velcro and your hooks with your seatbelt on, because you're probably going to miss something if you try that. He releases that air pack, and he gets his left shoulder, or excuse me, his left arm through that left shoulder strap. He's going to put on a seatbelt. Now we're ready to respond. He can put his mask on en route. And he can get his right shoulder strap on en route. And remember, it's good to leave that shoulder strap hanging so that it doesn't get hung up in your seatbelt. Once we arrived on scene, he's taking off his seatbelt, putting his helmet on. Exiting the pumper and adjusting his air pack. His last step would be turning on his bottle and plugging in his regulator just before he goes in. Now he can do all of his tasks, pull hose lines and all that before he plugs in his regulator. That'd be the last thing before he goes in. I think that it's important to remember not to put your gloves on before you get out. I know we've talked about being combat ready and having your gloves on, but you really do need to have your gloves off to make sure you can disconnect your seatbelt and adjust your air pack and do it correctly after you get out of the pumper. Then you can put your gloves on. It's important to make sure those things are done right. Good job, Dave.